strategist. Look at this guy. Do we want to take a rare goblin? 2 options like that. There's pretty much nothing else in the pack. Question is, which one is better? I don't really see a reason that Kiki Jiki would be a good pick. Like, it's a triple red 5-drop. What are the red archetypes? There's like red-green domain, red-black bloodthirst, red-white double strike, red-blue elementals. I guess in elementals it's okay. Let's just take spike shot. I don't really know. Blinding Soul Eater, big fan of that one. Seems good. I think white is one of the best colors, if not the best color. Goes into the artifact deck. It's also a nice interactive card if you're playing green-white go wide. You need a way to get a big blocker out of the way. Scatter the Seeds is alright. Dimir Guildmage is okay, but color combos not very good. So just a Soul Eater here, I think. Anything good here? Take the Hearthfire and try to go into Boros. We could take Vengeful Rebirth and try to go into the Gruul deck, which I do think is good. Hearthfire should wheel a decent amount of the time. Should probably just take this Rebirth, even if it's not the best. Some random spirit cards, Rusted Relic, Rampant Growth. I think it's fine to take the Rebirth here. And now Ulamog's Crusher, Nest Invader, Scatter the Seeds, Slaughtermaster, and a Bauble. I think it's just Nest Invader. Pick up the 2-drop. Works nicely in the ramp deck and in the go wide deck. So, yeah, seems good. Spite Bellows, okay. Looks like the time to take Spite Bellows is probably now. Works pretty decently with the Vengeful Rebirth. And I do have a couple red cards. Passing Simic Growth Chamber. Not too much else, yeah. Lore Scale Coatl, that's a good one. Some Simic Growth Chambers coming around as well. I think it makes sense to take the Lore Scale over the Growth Chamber. Gives me outs to play some kind of teamer value deck. Otherwise, yeah, it's really just the Growth Chamber, which does something similar but less exciting. Sure. And then now there's Slaughtermaster, Cathodian, Vapor Snag, a bit interesting with the Spite Bellows. Don't know if I want to splash that or not. I could try to play an aggressive deck. Slaughtermaster and Spike Shot, look for things that add power. Or I could take Cathodian. There's also Sphere of the Suns, kind of interesting. I think it might actually be reasonable to take Sphere of the Suns here over the random creatures. Helps me cast my 6-drops, helps me splash blue. And then now we have Sickle Slicer pretty easily. There's not much else going on here. Yep. So really we've seen no white after taking the Blinding Soul Eater. There's a Fiery Fall now versus second Sickle Slicer. Nice and alliterative that. I think it probably is Fiery Fall. Start enabling some splashes, get greedier on domain. I already have Vengeful Rebirth, and honestly Sickle Slicer doesn't look that exciting in this deck. Might get a second one anyway, we'll see. Another Sphere, I guess it's Dragon Soul Knight time. Sure. These don't seem very good. I guess it's Wrap in Flames for the board. I mean, I could take Skyhunter Skirmisher, have outs to aggro, but I guess it's kind of free to do that. Wrap in Flames doesn't really matter. And There's nothing really that I care about here, I don't think. I guess technically there's a world where I could play this, but it seems extremely unlikely. Scatter the Seeds, pretty decent card to come around late, even though it's not amazing in our deck. And Sigil Blessing is powerful. We'll get that out of circulation. Alright. Battle Grace Angel. That card's broken. We have to take it. It's just a question of how easy it's going to be to put in my deck. I don't really want to double splash white, so ideally we just end up playing a base white deck now that we have the Battle Grace. Passing double Kozilek's Predator. But this card's just absurd, so now what? What are our options? We're not really seeing anything for, well, for much of anything. Like, we could take Matka Rioters, try to go back to what we were doing, but I think that should wheel. I think we probably want to splash Narcolepsy and try to wheel the Matka Rioters. And just assume that Battle Grace isn't happening based on this pack, but like, we're only one pick into this one, so hard to say. If we knew we were green-white, we would take 4 to 5 from this pack. But it seems quite unlikely that we can just hop into green-white from what we saw in pack 1, so. Hey Wacky, good to see you. And, ooh, interesting. I'm a fan of Air Servant, but Boiler Works is also very good. I have no bounce lands yet. Air Servant would be on the splash. We did just pick up our second blue card as well. I think I'm supposed to take the land this time. It's double on color, and I mean, I guess if assuming we do end up 5 colors for Dragon Soul, then everything's going to be on color, but at the moment it seems like we have outs to play straight teamer, quote-unquote straight. As much as I like Air Servant, I think the land is a little more important here. A little bit unfortunate because we did pass 2 Simic Growth Chambers in pack 1, but here we are. Probably just can't play this. I say that, and then now there's a Spectral Procession, which I probably also can't play. Take Narcolepsy, hook to wheel Tribal Flames. Tribal Flames is like most likely kind of a bad bolt. Sylvan Bounty would be a reasonable wheel as well. I could take Spectral and try to play white, but it would just be Battle Grace, Soul Eater, Spectral. I guess Sky Hunter. I just don't think it's worth it. Let's just take another Narcolepsy and see what happens. Hopefully we wheel Sylvan Bounty or Tribal Flames. I mean, not very many people should be interested in Sylvan Bounty, I think. But it seems like a decent start to Teamer, at least. If we're not 5 colors, then Dragon... Ooh, how about a nice Apocalypse Hydra? That seems perfect. Nice reward for trying to stay the course here. So we're trying to cast that guy for 7 mana, pretty much. And there's not very much else in the pack, so who cares? Electrolyze now. I think we've got to take it. There's not much competition. Looks like we're straight teamer after all. Sure. Oh, ooh, Burst Lightning as well. Very nice. A little bit sad because we are passing Alloy Mirror, which would be a pretty nice one for us if we're trying to cast 7 drops and 6 drops and such. We're also pretty low on cheap creatures. I think it's even possible that if we were faced with this pick again right after, that we would have to take the Alloy Mirror. But I'm going to take Burst Lightning number 1 over Alloy Mirror number 1 still. Stormblood Berserker is nice, but not in our deck. Ether Snipe is a little more reasonable for our deck, but I think for curve purposes, probably just have to take a Slaughtermaster. Can't be taking all 6 drops and stuff when we have like no cheap creatures. It's possible we could activate this ability every now and then with like a Sphere of the Suns kind of thing. but mostly just a 1/1 double strike for 2, so we don't get run over. Get to it. Okay, nice. I think Algae Gharial's actually really good in this kind of deck because we already have like Electrolyze, Burst Lightning, that kind of thing. Apocalypse Hydra, Spite Bellows. So a good amount of removal to hopefully leverage this. I think Ruined Servitor would be a totally fine creature in this deck as well. Drawing a card is most likely better for us than our opponents if we have higher card quality and that kind of thing. And the Matka Rioter's Wheels, very nice. Not looking spectacular if we don't end up 4+ colors, but in fact, I don't know, there's a chance it's just a worse Cathodian, really. I think I should just take Raise the Alarm. It's probably the scariest card. Well, I do have Electrolyze. I don't know. I feel like the Go Wide deck is just the boogeyman of the format anyway. Whatever, we'll take Helium Squirter in case we really need random creatures. Okay, we do wheel Sylvan Bounty. Strangely, Spectral Wheels. I don't think this should ever really happen. Sure. This deck is okay. I think we're missing one of the most important components, which is the Savage Twister. But good mana, good removal. Kind of lacking in the creature department, but we'll get there, I think. Kozilek's Predator would be a really nice one for us, I think. Tarmogoyf, it's a funny one. I don't actually think it's that good, though. Just don't think we're very good at putting stuff into the graveyard early. I think Muldrifter is probably just a better card for us. I don't even think Muldrifter is particularly good in the format. The format cares a lot about tempo, and casting a 5-mana 2/2 is just not ideal in terms of tempo. I think it's still better than the Goyf. We can like cycle Fiery Fall, cycle Sylvan Bounty to grow it. But yeah, let's just take Muldrifter. Chimeric Mass, pretty decent. Cytoplast Rootkin, not bad. Cathodian, not bad. So what do we want? Do we want a 4/4 for 4? Or do we want Chimeric Mass? If we already had some sweepers, then the Chimeric could be kind of sick. I'm a little bit worried about the way it sets me back. I kind of just want to take a 4/4 for 4. We have randomly Lore Scale Coatl, which it works with. Algae Gharial could maybe care about it too. Sure. Okay, blue-white bounce land. Ooh, and a Kozilek's Predator. I think I have to take the Predator here. But the Bauble is not bad. Chancery's okay. Let's just take this. I don't think we're doing enough elemental stuff for a Smoke Braider, right? It's really just like Muldrifter and that's it. I guess this is probably an elemental. Yeah, we only have 2. I don't know, maybe if I had like a Tutor. We don't, so. More Spite Bellows and a Frogling. I feel like it's more Spite Bellows. Rootkin Ally is pretty busted. Frogling is good, but not particularly synergistic. It works with the Cytoplast Rootkin, but it's basically just a Cathodian for us, so I think it's supposed to be Spite Bellows. Thrumming Bird, pretty good with the Frogling, though. I think just not synergistic enough in general. Good pack. Another Boilerworks, another Rebirth, and another Frogling. I think it's probably another Boilerworks here. Double on color bounce lands are very, very nice. Frogling and Cathodian both would be good. They're not super different from each other. Frogling, again, maybe a bit more synergistic. Cathodian, a lot easier to cast. But I'm trying to play some 6-drops and stuff in this deck. I think it makes sense to take another bounce land. Bit of mana fixing as well. Ooh, Mystic Snake now, perhaps? I think that's good. I don't really know. It offers me something a little more interesting than Electrolyze, so I guess I'll give it a try. I don't love that it's double blue, though. In fact, that could be a problem. But if there's a deck where Mystic Snake is good, it's probably this one, so I guess I'll pass Electrolyze. Kind of into Vines of Vastwood. Karplusan Strider's like super medium. Skyreach Manta is just kind of a 3/3 for 5. Flamekin isn't doing anything very exciting. We're not a very good Gorehorn deck. I could take Plummet for the sideboard, but I think the first Vines is main deckable. There's a Plummet, there's a Tribal Flames, which I guess we'll take. It's either that or a Slaughtermaster. Slaughtermaster is pretty reasonable. It's just a 2-drop creature. Versus Sorcery Speed, deal 3. I wonder if I'm supposed to put some random off-color basics in my deck. That seems pretty bad. Honestly, I think I'm going to take Slaughtermaster. Maybe that was just insane, I don't know. Gnarlid Pack, kind of interesting. I think I just take a second Sickle Slicer. Repeal is also okay. Not really interested in Dragon Soul Knight anymore. I think this makes sense. There's a Kite Sail, a Vapor Snag. Don't think we're a very good Kite Sail deck, but maybe I'm wrong. We are kind of an interesting Vapor Snag deck, though. We have a few Evoke creatures and Mystic Snake. Sure. And then there's really nothing here. Not really wheeling anything. This card I don't think is very good. I don't think I'm a Thrumming Bird deck either. I think I needed the Froglings to be a Thrumming Bird deck. More Dragon Souls, yeah. I just don't think I'm doing that, though. Not really casting Steady Progress either. Mechanist is decent. Extremely sad Battle Grace Angel on the sideboard. I almost wonder if double Sickle Slicer is enough for the Spike Shot. We do have a Vines of Vastwood too. I don't know. Okay. In fact, let's just throw it in there. The rest of the stuff I don't think is ever going to matter. That's so weird thing to have happen. Okay. Maybe my opponents will just play around Savage Twister even though I don't have it. I think I have to play all the red cards except for possibly Spike Shot. Not sure about Vapor Snag. Play these. Here I'll play. Oops. Definitely these. And these. And then probably these. Weird that I got no Cathodians. People respected the Cathodians a little more than usual. And these are all kind of like maybes, except Mock Rioters I think is not very good. These are going to make it, but they're lands. Pretty reasonable for me to play 16 lands, I think, in this deck. If I play Fiery Fall double bounce land. But my curve will be high, and I am 3 colors, so could stick to 17 anyway. I don't think we're a very good Scatter the Seeds deck. Oh, somehow I have Electrolyze in the sideboard. Let's fix that. Let's get these in the deck. And what's next? And it's kind of interesting. I have double sickle slicer with my slaughter masters as kind of a way to make them more interesting. It's not the worst. Maybe a random vapor snag could be good. I think I do have enough ETBs. I think vines is kind of interesting too with the slaughter masters. And then I could play spike shot plus sphere of the suns. Do this, and then I'm on 16 lands, but I have sphere, I have fiery fall, and I have double bounce land. I leave scatters, sylvan bounty, helium squirter on the board. I think that makes sense. It's not amazing, but interesting at least. And then let's see what this thing thinks for the mana. It wants 6/5/5. Wants more blue than red or green. All because of Mystic Snake? That can't be right. How would I ever have more blue than green, right? Because, like, these are my blue cards, these are my green cards, except these two. Whoops. These two are also green. And we have a double green card in there, and sort of another one in the vines. So I'm going to say Magic Online's kind of drunk on that one. And then Spite Bellows. Yeah, I think it's wrong. I was going to say Spite Bellows is kind of double red. So I think, let's say we have -2 islands for 2 boiler works. And then that puts me up to 6 blue still, 7 red. I want another green. So I guess I go down here. That has me up at 5 blue, 7 red, 6 green. But do I want 7 green, 6 red? I only have one piece of fixing that's in a color, and that color is red. I think it's okay to be heavier red than green, because Spike Shot, Spite Bellows, and like Spike Shot in both copies of Spite Bellows are all kind of double red. So I think this actually makes sense. This 7/6/5 deal. Definitely a bit greedy, but as long as it makes sense. Definitely want to play first with this deck, and unfortunately we have this hand, which I think is horrible under any circumstances. We mulligan to this hand, which is equally bad. I guess we've drafted an IPA deck. Maybe that was a mistake. I think I'm supposed to go to 5. I could like throw back the Rootkin and hope for the forest and island, but that sounds terrible. Okay, well, this is a pretty good 5. It's actually really sick. Only question is what I get rid of. I think it might be island. I'm probably supposed to get rid of Rebirth. Let's just get rid of Rebirth, I guess. Oh, whoops. I have to get rid of 2 cards. That's how a mold of 5 works. Alright, well, I guess that makes my choice easier. All of my cards are card advantage. I literally have 4 2-for-1. Well, I guess Muldrifter's a 3-for-1, but you know. please just play any creature. Don't play the mana rock. Just any creature. That works. Beautiful. We just want to main face this. See if we hit our land drop. Make sure we play around pump spells. That kind of stuff. Okay, well, good land drop to hit. They just click through their turn. That's a painful one. And now we have Muldrifter and a Spite Bellows. It's a pretty good Mold of 5. Spike shot, nice. Alright, green mana acquired. Which means we're basically there. Okay, they kill that. I think I go just Forest Cycle, play Forest, play Algae Gharial, and the next turn I have Apocalypse Hydrax is 5. Okay, we were experiencing some serious lag there, but I guess we got out of it. Considering going for a Narcolepsy on the Smoke Braider, but I think... oh, I didn't have enough red for Spike Shot. I mean, I guess I did, but then I couldn't have land cycled. I don't know. Let's just... Honestly, I don't know what the play is, but I'm going to play the Gharial anyway. I feel like this was wrong, though. I just don't know what I was supposed to do instead. Okay, well, attacking me for 3 makes me feel better about not locking down the Smoke Braider. Here's a Bloodthirst guy. Oh, what are they doing? They're playing random cards. Their deck is bizarre. Wait, are they missing green? Okay. I could Spike Shot their Smoke Braider, I guess. Oh, this is actually pretty good, right? I can do that. It's a nice middle of the road play. I have more than enough mana. Yeah, well, I don't know. Apocalypse Hydra is really good, though. But then if they have a bounce spell, it's just horrible. Yeah, let's just get the Spike Shot down, I guess. Okay, it's a weird thing they're doing, but whatever. I assume they have a reason for it. Probably another bounce land or another color. They're hitting another thing for domain. Eldrazi Temple, okay. Thankfully we have the Narcolepsy. Hit me for 4. Sure. I think think I just double spike shot this fairy mechanist, as weird as that is. Okay. Sure, I guess. This has been a very strange game. Here comes an Eldrazi, right? Ulamog's Crusher, basically. Has to be. Mm-hmm. So we start with this. There's no way for me to kill them, right? No, we're a little far from that. Start with this. And then how much mana do I have here? Just cast a big Apocalypse Hydra, I guess. Sure, I don't know. Seems good. If they just play like an Ether Snipe, we're actually in a bit of trouble, but that doesn't look like an Ether Snipe. Cool, that works. And then I don't really know. Let's just run it back. This looks pretty decent. I think we're gonna maybe find out how bad Sphere of the Suns is this game, or good, depending on whether it works. Ideally, we'll just find green mana the hard way, but or the natural way. I don't know. One of those. No Smoke Breeder. Let's just get this down, and the next turn we can Sphere plus Boiler Works. This should be able to attack into most blue-red 3-drops, which is nice. Like if they just play the Cloud Elemental, for instance. Yeah, that works. Kind of hope to draw Forest so I can play my Cytoblast. Expo? Okay, Chimeric Mass. It's a pretty big issue for me, actually. Fiery Fall for green. Does that let me do anything? I guess I can actually trade with Slaughtermaster on blocks now with that. So yeah, that does do something. Not very good against Chimeric Mass in this deck. Wonder if this guy's just gonna get killed. Looks like that's a yes. Electrolyze, perhaps. Yep. Well, that's a good one. I guess we just play it right now. A little 10-10 off the top. Wait, oh, cancel? Guess I have to play Spite Bellows now instead. Kind of a bummer. Okay, not ideal. And bonk me for 4, sure. I think now I'm clear to play the 10-10. Yeah, I mean, that thing really did its job this game. Sphere of the Suns, that is. Not sure how they beat this, but I have a feeling 2/2 flyer is not the answer. Well, 5 mana. Precursor Golem. That's pretty good. Mold Drifter, also pretty good. What if I just cast a Cytoplast Rootkin? I could cast Predator into Mold Drifter, probably. I don't know if that's worth it. What if I just attack for 10? Seems a little unreasonable. No, let's just do it. It doesn't quite work. I'm short red. Because I would need, if this, I could play the Predator and then have that plus the spawn on blocks, but then I don't have 3 shoots with this. I do kind of like attacking. Let's just do it. Pretty insane for me if they chump. Yeah, this is extremely good for me. So now I don't even have to shoot the other. I mean, I could, but I could shoot this. There's not like a good way to go about this. I could still just kill this and then they have 7 power to my 7. Maybe that is good though. I think I would believe that that's good. Let's just try it and see what happens. Okay. Shrewd hatchling, okay. That's fine. You bonk me for 7. Now I just play defense. Seems good too. What do I do now? I could Mole Drifter into... I'm supposed to... I could shoot the... I die to removal if I do that. I think I'm supposed to play a blocker and play the Narcolepsy. But do I want to play Mole Drifter? I guess I do. In that case, I probably shouldn't have played my land. I don't think I have any 1-drops. Oh, I do have 1-drops. Okay, whatever. Oh. Cast this. This game has been hard. I don't really know what I'm doing. Didn't find my 1-drops. Now I'll just Narcolepsy this and pass. Oh, Mercurio Blue, thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate it. We're playing some Modern Masters 2015. Talking quietly so I don't wake up the people who are living nearby. And they're going to bounce this. Okay, so we're almost dying here. But they need another removal spell, or we just chump the Chimeric Mass. Kind of feels like they have the removal though. Kiki Jiki. That does kill me. They just copy the Golem and that's Xaxes. Alright, game 3 it is. Don't think the opponent's deck is very good, but maybe they could copy the Chimeric Mass. That wouldn't work. They have to copy the... Yeah, they'd copy the right one, unfortunately. Yeah, maybe played that one a little too aggressively. Oh yeah, I got the raid. Thanks. Yeah. I don't know if my notifications are on for that or not, but I definitely saw it. So yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. We're playing this teamer deck. I think the tier 1 deck in this format is green-white. Green-white go wide is just a ridiculous deck. Speaking of Battle Grace Angel, ridiculous card, but Hades 2, okay. Welcome Raiders indeed. Good to see you too, Brotman. Yeah, as long as you have fun, that's what matters, I think. You know, if I wanted to maximize viewers, I'd be playing Vintage Cube whenever I could, but I don't really care about Vintage Cube, so instead I play formats like this. This hand is a little bit awkward. We have double green, but not double blue. But still an overall good hand for this deck. Yeah, he's been a very what would you say? Very enfranchised cuber for a long time now. One of his community members has a lot of direct influence on the Magic Online Vintage Cube, and he's got multiple cubes of his own. I think he had at least 2 cubes in the main event of CubeCon last year. Oh, the old discard to hand size on the draw with the bounce land. The old manual mulligan. Not a place you love to be, but it's gotta happen sometimes. And here's the Apocalypse Hydra. Hopefully we can hit, I mean, we only have like, what, 2 islands in the deck or something to have this on turn 4? Splinter Twin. They're really doing some spicy stuff. Let's see what they have now. Maybe Chimeric Mass for 3. That's kind of what it looks like, yep. It's a tough one for us to answer. Okay, I'm just going to keep hitting land drops. We can kick a Burst Lightning targeting that, but right now we can't really do anything. We just have to hope we hit land drops. Thankfully, Vengeful Rebirth, pretty decent with land cyclers, so you can deal something 6. Let's see what they have here. World Heart Phoenix, okay. I don't think I really care about that. Like, I could shock that, but I don't know if it matters very much. I could Narcolepsy that too. I think I'm just gonna pass. Okay, we do find the island, thankfully, which unlocks Mystic Snake. We can Burst Lightning still if we'd like to. And now with 6 lands, we're very close to the 10/10 Apocalypse Hydra. You really need to cast this thing for 7 total mana to get all your value out of it. I think it's okay to kick this Burst Lightning, not hold the Mystic Snake up. This thing's an annoying enough card for me. They can just Vapor Snag it, that's fine. It's not a very good play for them, I don't think. They lose a life and then they can replay it for 3. And then next turn we're still going to have Mystic Snake up. Smoke Braider, that's not what I was expecting. Almost wonder if they clicked the wrong card there. Okay, here's an interesting one. We can hit the mana we need for the Hydra, but we have to play Boilerworks, and we have to return Mountain to have the guaranteed Hydra mana. So if they know the format, then they can maybe figure out what I'm up to here, but we should be able to get them with the snake. And then we want to have as much red mana down as possible so we can activate the Hydra as many times as, you know, as possible. Should see a nice juicy 6 mana Chimeric Mass here. And we should be really, really far ahead after casting Mystic Snake on this and then untapping into 10/10 Apocalypse Hydra. Still with Narcolepsy and Vengeful Rebirth in hand and only on 15 life. Boom. Surprise Snake. Good to see you, by the way, dog. Pretty telegraphed Snake, if you ask me, but, you know. We took that one over Electrolyze number 2 in the draft, and at the time it seemed like it was making my mana much worse, and I think it did, for the record, but so far it seems like perhaps it was worth it. I think it's pretty free to go ahead and attack with the Snake here as well. Only holding back the Smoke Braider, and that might be tapping for mana anyway, so seems totally fine to get in with this. And it's very nice to have cleared the Vapor Snag out of their hand as I play my 7-drop. One of the best ways they have of dealing with this thing is just bouncing it. Like, Narcolepsy is not very good against this thing, so they can have their own 8-drop here, but it is a big Hydra, yeah. Well, I don't really care about Tribal Flames on my 2/2. Okay, nice spot. So, what do we want to do? Probably just start with a Cytoplast Rootkin. If that resolves, it's going to pump up the Hydra. Yeah, it does seem pretty nasty to me. I think I want to have a Boilerworks up, and it doesn't really matter, but I just want to have a red and a blue so I can potentially Narcolepsy this thing if something goes wrong here. I guess the best way to do it technically is, and they can have their own Mystic Snake here for the record. Do this, and then shoot this, and bonk you for 10. And I think now that we're in this position, we should be good to just pass without casting Narcolepsy. We can activate Cytoplast Rootkin or the Apocalypse Hydra, and the opponent's at 7 life, and they're just in really rough shape. Repeal. Okay, so this is one of the reasons that I wanted to hold this up. Let me just make sure I'm reading this correctly. Yeah. So we get a nice 5/5 here. Also, the opponent is... Oh, interesting. I think I was maybe just supposed to use the Hydra counter to ping the opponent, because then I have Vengeful Rebirth for 6 with Fiery Fall. Yeah, that was probably a little bit loose. Yeah, well, I guess it didn't matter. But I think for the record, I was probably just supposed to shoot them instead of getting the counter. Oh, we're paired against an O2. Well, yeah, equipment, counters, auras. Those are the cards that make it most exciting. In my deck, it's kind of just a guy that trades for 2/2s and a creature that I can play on turn 2. But we do have a couple Sickle Slicers, and I actually did activate the black-green ability before, thanks to the Sphere of the Suns. I was not expecting that would come up, and it came up in like the first game. Well, drawing Forest is not ideal, but I mean, being able to hit our land drops is good with so many expensive cards. In this deck, it's probably a C minus, the Slaughtermaster. Okay, pretty nice to draw my 3-drop on turn 3. Probably a bad sign that we just beat a teamer-ish deck, and now the teamer deck we're paired against is 0-2. Probably doesn't say anything good about teamer in this format. Cytoplast Rootkin, yeah, it's kind of a problem. Okay, we get a Kozilek's Predator down. Ideally, we hit a land drop here so we can spend one thing on Spite Bellows, and technically if we hit a land drop we could go all in on the Apocalypse Hydra, but I'm not sure that's a good idea. Just auto yield there, who cares? But considering we don't have double red or any blue, this has been a pretty good draw for our deck. Our deck is really asking a lot of our mana. See if they have like a Muldrifter. Yeah, that's exactly what they have. I think I would graft onto the Muldrifters them here. But if they do allow an attack with the Predator. Yeah, so maybe that wasn't ideal. I don't know. But their Cytoplast can attack now. I don't have a great block. I guess I would just trade with my Predator. Interesting. Okay, let's see what we draw. Land? Be nice. Okay, we do draw the land. Yeah, I don't think I want to go so all in that I put the Hydra into play and get rid of both my spawn. So let's go ahead and send the Predator. I think they're relatively unlikely to trade. And then post-combat, just get a Spite Bellows down. They're basically going to have to interact with this thing one way or another. And it's extremely good for us if it dies. If it dies, we get to deal 6 to something, and then we have a 6-drop in our graveyard for Vengeful Rebirth, so I would be thrilled if they just attack here with their Cytoplast, but I guess they won't. Probably one of the best ways they can quote-unquote deal with Spite Bellows is if they have like Kozilek's Predator of their own to kind of stem the bleeding by just putting Eldrazi Spawn in front of it. Okay, Water Servant. They can make a chonky Water Servant. That's a bit intimidating. And a Goblin Fire Slinger. Well, that card is quite bad, but it does trade with a 6/1, and that might be its duty here for sure. Vapor Snag with no blue mana. Don't love that. So one option we could be looking at here is we could be looking to re-equip the Germ to the Slaughtermaster to get 2 attackers going. I don't think that's a great line. I think I just want to just put them to the test with this Spite Bellows attack. Most likely they're just going to trade with the Fire Slinger and probably Water Servant, I guess. Wow, they're just going to take it. Okay, that's very dangerous for them. So we're now getting to a place where we can just basically attack all, as long as we have enough mana. Like, if they go down to 6 life, this Rebirth is going to be relatively likely to kill them out of nowhere. We're at a very healthy 17. The only issue is we have basically 3 sort of 2-power threats here. So it's not going to be particularly easy to put them to 6. I guess actually if we draw Island, we're pretty likely to get there because Vapor Snag makes them lose a life. Alright, Let's see what their play is here. Just send this in. Like they have to do something about the onslaught here, right? Can I just draw the island one time? Let's see what we get. Sickle slicer. It's like okay. So what happens if we just send in the clowns? It's got to be pretty good for us, right? Like pretty good chance they just die. I don't think I want to play around a mana leak. I think I want to put them to the test and see if they just take lethal somehow. This is probably not the best play, but our draw's been pretty awkward here, so might work out. And just see what they do. A little bit strange not to eat the Kozilek's Predator, right? If they take 3, maybe they trade Inner Flame with the 1/1 double strike. I don't know. This is a strange block from them. This doesn't quite add up, I think. Okay, I mean, this has them super dead if it works. Okay. Maybe I just get mana leaked and I die. Step 1 is kill this Water Servant. So, well, would I rather kill Water Servant or Inner Flame? Which one's more likely to kill me here? Maybe it's Inner Flame? There's no way it's like Smoke Breeder, right? I'm trying to think how I lose. Yeah, I guess it's Inner Flame. Can I read Water Servant? I don't want to click on it by accident. So I think it's blue to pump it. Yeah, let's kill the Inner Flame. And then just hope this works. All right, well, that worked. So, again, playing against someone with kind of a strange deck. Not saying that my deck is like super normal or whatever, but I think a normal deck in this format is just basically playing green-white or blue-white every time. But happy to be up a game after kind of a weird mana situation. No double red, no blue. I think I just run it back. Should try to keep a better idea of what my sideboard is, but let's just try again. This hand is really bad. One of the nice things about this deck is that we can mulligan a little more aggressively because of bounce lands. Unfortunately, though, or ideally rather, you know, we don't mulligan at all. But this one we can keep. Throwback Island because we only have one double blue card. We have more double red and yeah. Okay. Smoke Breeder. Weird spot. I think I'm just supposed to go lore scale into double 2-drop. This thing is a bit scary. Yeah. Okay. See if they have the burst lightning, or yeah, it looks like they do. Nice. Obviously not nice for me, but you know, they're running out of gas here. See if they have another scary elemental. Black mana now. Plot thickens. Don't even know what that could be, actually. Rootkin ally. Well, yeah. Guess my play is Nest Invader plus Narcolepsy the Rootkin. First strike, sure. Kind of far off from that. This trades with the Inner Flame at the moment. Rootkin Ally is one of those cards that doesn't look super scary, but in the green-white go-wide deck, it's actually super busted. But one of the nice... Wait, what do they do there? Do they just float mana and do nothing? Bizarre. That was like the commander... the commander float mana to yield faster play. That was very, very strange. Okay, we're just going to attack. Except it was not exactly a faster yield. And then just cast our spells. And now our best draw in the deck is the old Apocalypse Hydra. Because we're going to have 6 mana plus a spawn. We still have a block on the Inner Flame with the Germ. Opponent doesn't have triple activation on the Inner Flame yet. Oh, Bestial Menace. That card's busted. Well, that's going to be tough to beat, especially against an active Inner Flame Igniter. Could be in a lot of trouble here. Could draw like Electrolyze or something, or Burst Lightning, or even Spike Bellows or Fiery Fall. I don't know. We do have a lot of ways to kill it. Well, that was our best one, I think. I think now the play is get down the Algae Gharial and make it a 3/3 immediately. So, Algae Gharial. And then snipe this Inner Flame Igniter, and then pretty much everything from here looks really good, I think. Another Boiler Works is the draw. And we just get 2 pass. We can like re-equip the Sickle Slicer next turn, which grows the Algae Gharial. We can put the Sickle Slicer on the Slaughtermaster, and then have a 4/4 Gharial back on blocks. Spike Shot is a bit scary. It's a good reason to make the play I was just describing. Get that Slaughtermaster out of the pinging range. Don't really know what this could be. The 4 mana here. Are they doing the weird yield thing? Wait, what was that all about? Oh, Thrive. I see. So that's what they had before. Okay. Well, if they find double red for Spike Shot Elder, yeah, it's going to be a little ugly. In the meantime, a little tempted to just play a Kozilek's Predator. I kind of want to apply pressure, though. It's the one problem. So I guess, yeah, what if it just is the... I mean, I could Predator into the equip. Is that good? That might be very good, actually. Huh, a little odd, but mostly very strong, I think. So it turns this into like a 6/6. And we send in the Slaughtermaster. Really put them to the test with the whole red mana situation. Remember, we can't even equip the Algae Gharial. I might have mentioned that before, but I might have also said the opposite, depending on how much attention I was paying. Do this, pick up a Forest, send in the 3/3 Double Strike, which probably has to get blocked by the 4/4. Then we have the 7/7 Algae Gharial. Oh, they just chomp. That's great for this too. Nice. 3/3 Double Strike, which probably has to get blocked by the 4/4. Then we have the 7/7 Algae Gharial. Oh, they just chomp. That's great for this too. Nice. 3/3 Double Strike, which probably has to get blocked by the 4/4. Then we have the 7/7 Algae Gharial. Oh, they just chomp. That's great for this too. Nice. That seemed really good. Inner Flame Igniter still, I mean, it's scary, but it's not a huge problem, I think. Because I think we send in a 7/7 and a 3/3 double strike next turn, and they have to start figuring out blocks. But ideally, we find a way to answer either Smoke Raider or Inner Flame. Again, we would answer the Inner Flame if, well, that works, I guess. And now there's a question of whether I'm supposed to do that pre-combat. I assume the answer is yes, because we get another counter on the Algae Gharial. So we're just going to go ahead and evoke this. Nice thing about this deck is we have lots of removal to draw into. And do this. And then go ahead and make this attack. Seems very intimidating. And they basically have to chump the 9/9. Chump with a 3/3. It's really not where you want to be. And then we'll re-equip to our Predator. This does let them kill this with Spike Shot if they find red, but more importantly it blocks the Elephant, and I'm not too worried if they draw Mountain. And even if they do that, like, it still grows our Gharial. Facing down a 10/10 Gharial, I don't know, seems pretty bad for them. Double blue, maybe a Water Servant on the way. Seems pretty likely. Yep. And now we're just crushing again. Can send in a 5/5 Predator if we want, or we can send in a 3/3 Double Striker. I don't even know if it matters really which one we send in, but the 10/10's going in regardless. We could even consider sending the creatures that effectively attack for 2. So then the Gharial has to be blocked, and then I guess it's fine to be a little bit defensive or conservative for now. I think I'm just gonna, I don't really know if it matters. Let's just make this play. Kind of in the double abyss here, so like they can maybe take 5, go to 7, but they have to, yeah, they have to chump the Gharial. And then continuing to play out lands here because we have Mole Drifter and other card draw stuff like that in the deck, I think. Technically, there's a chance it was better to send in the Slaughtermaster there, because if they don't trade for that, then they take an extra damage because it attacks for 6 instead of 5, but I don't know. Seems really hard for things to really go wrong. Alright, the Lips Hydra indeed. We have this hand, which is, well, it could work out. If we draw Mountain, then we get to avoid discarding hand size. Unfortunately, we don't draw Mountain. So now it's sort of a choice of what expensive card do we want to put in the graveyard for the Vengeful Rebirth? Perhaps a Cytoplast Rootkin, because it's double green. Good to see, by the way, Airmath. Yeah, this is looking a little ugly. There's also an argument for just getting rid of like a Slaughtermaster, but I don't think that makes sense. Well, maybe it does actually. Yeah, I think it's a low impact enough card that we can just ditch one. We're gonna find double green eventually, and like we might have Coatl plus Gharial in terms of creatures to put counters on when that happens. Yeah, and well, we might have been rewarded immediately here. But I think most likely this thing's just gonna get mana leaked or agony warped, or yeah, that one. Still happy if I can play a 4/4 for 4 next turn. I don't think Dimir is going to have any particularly good ways of dealing with this. Maybe that's not true. But regardless, I think I'm just supposed to jam this. And then like Spike Shot Elder with a counter on it sounds very good next turn if possible. Alright, they did reveal something. Whoops, it was the Citadel they just played. Okay, so they're playing blue-black artifacts, which is not really a common deck. I've played some of that in this format, but time to click. Oh yeah, true, we have the graft. I didn't even think about that. Well, the good news is... bad news is they have this. They have a pretty decent double block here, but they might not take it. We're going to have a very awkward sequence with the Gariel and the Spike Shot here, though, regardless. Yeah. Yeah, this is going to be extremely awkward. I mean, the goal is the opponent just doesn't block. It's like pretty reasonable for me to have a Burst Lightning kind of thing here or some other pump spell. If they do block, it's like not the end of the world for me. What is this attack? I think it's an attack we have to make. Because now, post-combat, it's a question of whether we want a 3/3 Sickle Slicer thing. We definitely want the Spike Shot. We can go ahead and do this now and get a counter on it. Or I could, what if I Slaughtermaster Sickle Slicer, actually? That seems a bit better, because I don't even have double red yet for the Spike Shot. Yeah, I think that's probably just better. I don't think you can not attack for 4 there. That's a lot of damage to miss. Well, if I play Elder Gariel, then I have a small guy. I mean, I guess I could put counters on both of those. I don't know. I think it's really bad to pre-combat graft in general there. And like reveal that I have no trick. Like I guess technically I could have mutagenic growth, but I think this was best. Nameless Inversion is kind of a pain. Yeah, they just kill all my stuff. Yeah, I understand. Well, if they're just gonna bonk me, we might just die. Kind of need to find double red for the Spike Shot. Oh, you trophied from our draft. Congrats, Strat. Glad to hear it. I think I'm just supposed to... Yeah, I think this is actually pretty decent. So we just attack, and then we double spell. We get a 3/3 Gariel and a 2/2 Spike Shot. But can we get the double trophy? We can try. I'm gonna need to get a little bit lucky here. All right. So now we're in this spot. Seems pretty decent. Problem is the opponent has 4 power flyers. Good news is we have Algae Gariel against Demir. They just have like another 2/2 flyer. We're in bad shape. Well, geez, that's a lot of stuff. They're really popping off here. Yeah, I think we're probably dead. We start with this. Best draw is the 2/2. Makes a spawn. Vapor Snag, not ideal. And then now we're basically just dead. I could find... Best draw, I guess, is Muldrifter into Island. Seems extremely unlikely that I live. Yeah, it's not going to cut it. Well, I think we played every turn of that game correctly, but still just got run over. Opponent's deck seemed pretty good, even though it's not exactly on plan for the color pair. But the color pair doesn't really have a good plan, so that's as good a plan as any. I think I'm just supposed to run this back. Hope that it goes a little bit better. Check out the sideboard, but yeah, I don't think we have a better plan anywhere over there. So just try again. Their deck seems really good. It would be very reasonable for me to lose this, I think. And this hand is okay. All right, pretty decent start. We get to be on the play, get to have our 2 drop down. They're not doing anything. But we do need to draw some lands. This deck just doesn't really function without them. Might have been a good turn for Boiler Works or something here. See if they mana leak this. Looks like they won't. Seemed like they were thinking about it. Soul Eater, okay. That's horrible. Now my cards don't do anything. This is not very good in their deck, for the record. We'll see what they do, but we might be on like end of turn bounce a creature. Probably see a 2/2 flyer here. We know they have at least 2 of them. I hope they play some kind of removal spell so I can use the vines. Cathodian, yeah, that's one I'll bounce. We just need to do something here, like, I can't just spend none of my mana. We find double red, and we have the double green and double blue in hand. I mean, eventually we had to have something bad like this happen, I feel like, so. I actually think our Mold of 5 was a better draw than this. But we'll see. I mean, we're not just dead. Like, they have no board presence. We've dealt them 7 damage, I guess. There's the Cathodian again. If we find double green, maybe Fines matters? I don't know. Boiler Works, not the right time for it. We can re-equip Sickle Slicer and they can start tapping it down. I don't even think that's very appealing. Is it? I can then... That seems bad. I'm just like turning their tapper into a real card if I do that. Let's just hold up Mystic Snake in a minute. I'm down to double block, by the way. It's, well, actually it is a pretty bad double block, because Agony Warp still gets me. Frogmite. But they have to choose different targets with the Agony Warp, I guess. Another Frogmite. A thought cast. Yeah, now we're in some serious trouble. You just cast 3 spells and we haven't affected the board for like multiple turns. Yikes. So we have to Mystic Snake something here. And we have to just kind of sit tight. Like they can just... I would have activated Soul Eater there as them. I think it's pretty strange they didn't. We're in very, very rough shape. Okay, at least we can counter this. These lands are just cursed. Part of me thinks I'm supposed to send in the Mystic Snake so it can die, and then I can Vengeful Rebirth get it back. But that just sounds so horrible. I don't know what I'm supposed to do here, though. Like, what if they just take the damage? That sounds pretty bad. If they just eat it with Cathodian, that sounds pretty bad. I think I just pass again. I can, but no, it's not okay, because they have 4 cards in hand. And presumably their cards are actually castable, or actually matter a little more than mine do here. Yeah, like that. That's a next turn problem. Guess I'm supposed to do this. If they have Mana Leak... Wait, what? Doesn't this make no sense? So they're just going to play removal. Please... Well, I assumed they would always order the snake first. But I guess now that we're in this spot, now I actually have to... It's so awkward to save this, though. This is extremely awkward. I think I actually have to save this, which is just going to die immediately anyway. If they just ordered blockers differently, this would be fine, question, or quote unquote, but because they ordered blockers like this, it's a disaster. Because they, like, the problem is if I save, they're just gonna, well, they kill that anyway? That's actually not, well, I'm still getting destroyed, but apart from that, apart from getting destroyed, that's like reasonable-ish. It's gonna be tough. I think they were supposed to tap the spawn. We're definitely not just dead. Weird play. I don't really know what they're up to. Do they know they can activate this? That sounds like it would be bad for me. Mole Drifter. So I can, for 7 mana, I can kill their tapper. I still don't even have double green. What if I... Is there any better line? I guess I then untap with... How much damage do I take? I hold back their frogmites unless they have removal. I take 6. If they don't have removal, it's like kind of okay. But it's not like really okay. Okay. Okay, they do go for this. Please don't play anything. This looks like something, unfortunately. Yeah, another one of these. I do live, actually, through this, though. Wait, am I going to survive? There's no way I'm going to live here, right? What if I start by just... There's no way, right? They're gonna like profane command me. So here's the thing. If I untap, now I have Mystic Snake. That's kind of absurd, right? How much mana do I have? I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That looks like it's enough mana. Yeah, it's a pretty good goblin, right? So I think now I have enough mana for this. There was probably... No, there actually wasn't a way to tap where I could activate this and still hold up the Mystic Snake, so we just do this and pass. And I don't actually think they can win anymore, as long as I don't mess this up. Stars aligned indeed. Welcome to the stream, by the way, Aimless Bliss. I don't know whether I want to tap out of the second activation here, but yeah. I think it's pretty free to mountain cycle this. I'm still holding up the snake that they know about, I might add. And somehow I think we won this. Beat a profane command if they have one. Like, we're at least making it to game 3 of our finals with our fun, not serious teamer deck with crazy mana. So that's a pretty good outcome. Yeah. Don't mind if I do. Well, unfortunately, I do not think our chances are very good in game 3 here, the finals. They're going to be on the play. I'm already on a bounce land deck, which means being on the draw is extra painful for me. But to make matters worse, their deck is proactive, so yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to get there. I still don't really think I have a sideboard. I could try to play like a random scatter the seeds to make multiple blockers, but I don't think that's very good. Man, if you asked me when I was casting Vines of Vastwood to unsuccessfully save my Nest Invader and like lose all my 2/2s if I was gonna win that, or if I was gonna win that game, I would have said, "Are you crazy? I'm obviously dead." But apparently we weren't. Alright, this hand's pretty reasonable thanks to the Fiery Fall. Opponent's mulliganing. They're on 41. Maybe there's hope. Probably not supposed to cycle just yet. Probably supposed to just go nice. Go 2-drop, 3-drop here. Well, Cooper, I'm not normally playing at these times. I'll just say that. This is pretty unusual for me. But good to see you, by the way. Here's a weird one. What am I supposed to do with this? I can like land cycle, play bounce land. I don't even know if that's good. I can go. There's just not really a good line here, is there? I can't trade Slaughtermaster for this. Like I can play Vines, but that doesn't really work. Play Sickle Slicer, but that doesn't really accomplish anything. I guess what I could do, I could like play Forest, attack. If they block, I kick a Vines of Vastwood, kill their Cathodian, and then I play a Sickle Slicer post-combat. I don't know, it's so bad. It's pretty bad no matter what I do, though. I think I'm just gonna do it, and then chances are they're not gonna block. And then next turn I can go bounce land, hold up Vines of Vastwood. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, we got to the same place, even though I still don't know how I feel about this line. I guess I do hit them for 10 here, huh? That's kind of a lot of damage. It's not my deck's primary plan of winning, but maybe just putting them to 8 is kind of a thing. Wait, they just play D? Okay, well, if they just play D, I have no interest in attacking. What are they doing? Are they just holding up like a mana leak? I'm just gonna pass. This is like a little telegraphed, but it shouldn't be bad. I think it's fine not to hold up the land cycle, by the way. Oh, what a bizarre one. What a bizarre one, you guys. I think we're doing all right, but I also don't really understand what's happening. So I think I'm supposed to play Predator, and it's probably going to get mana leaked. Oh, Arcanus Insurrection? What was the format? I don't even know. Yeah, I don't know. I think I have to play something into this mana leak. What if I kind of want to, part of me wants to land cycle, because then I can like try to resolve Spite Bellows. Seems really good. Yeah, I think the line actually is going to be Slaughtermaster pass, and then we're gonna end of turn cycle Fiery Fall to get double blue. This is an absurd game. I don't think there's a sweeper they can have. Okay, that guy's pretty good. So what am I supposed to do? I don't really see how they beat. Like, I feel like the only counterspell they can really have here is Mana Leak. So I think I just alpha. Alpha with the plan of casting Electrolyze to kill their Cathodian. On mono nothing? That's like impossible, right? How's equipped with Vines Up? I think this is good, right? So we just do this. Just like triple check that. Okay, so we're going to, I really don't want to mess this up. Set a stop and damage, and now we're going to turn off auto yields. Just like triple check that I don't click through this. Okay, and now I don't think it really matters. Just do this. Okay, it seems like a good outcome. And I miss a bunch of damage if I go for Vines, and I still don't want to act first, so I'm just going to pass. They're going to go for this. Stoic Rebuttal. Oh, yeah, got it, thank you. I think I'm supposed to try to save my guy, but I think it's very unlikely to work. I think this is going to get mana leaked. But I don't really care, and I don't care if they use a different kill spell. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, already played land for turn. We can remove this damage stop. It was a very strange exchange, but I think it was good for me, basically. Here's an Ether Snipe. Get rid of my token, probably. But can they just deal with a hard cast Spite Bellows? And actually, maybe they can. Spite Bellows does have some awkwardness on a board like this. Well, I could go Gariel plus Evoke. I think that's good. It's a little bit spewy, but we get a counter on the Gariel, get in for 2 damage, and clear their 4/4. Actually, wait, no, this is 2 counters on Gariel. My bad. The extra Gariel counter actually goes a long way. It's nice and mana efficient. Gets their thing off the battlefield. Oh, whoops. Should have always yesed to this, but I did anyway eventually. And then now they're in this spot where we have, like, if we draw land, or even if we don't draw land, yeah, we're just in great shape. Yeah, exactly. I think we're winning this somehow, you guys. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself, but opponent's kind of done nothing, and we're in good shape. Yeah, that's not too scary right now. If we whiff on land, we go Predator, sack a spawn, growth this, equip here, and then they have to deal with it. This would be an insane finals to win after feeling extremely dead before. Yeah, so drawing tap land works the same way. Still pay for mana leak if they have it. Alright, they chump, which means my Gharial grows and deals them extra damage because of double strike. And now we're in this spot. I could have sacked my spawn there. I think it was fine not to. Yeah, maybe it was better to sack. Chimeric Mass, okay. Yeah, it is very unlikely to matter. Oh, actually, here's a spot where it matters, right? Because if I have them at 9 here, yeah. If I have them at 9, they're dead on board. Oops. Well. Nice. We did it, you guys. Finally got trophy number 4. Maybe only one misplay with the spawn in the whole draft. Right there at the very end as well. And somehow defeated that opponent who, in game 1, easy trophy, thanks J. John,